Greetings. Well, the primary funders and organizers behind the Elon Musk protest at the Tesla dealerships, then what became hands off, and then what became No Kings, was all done by Arabella Advisors. They're a dark money for-profit funding organization. Lots of money from Bill and Melinda Gates in the past, Soros, other funds you may have never heard of. Arabella Advisors. They've been doing this for years, and yet you never hear them mentioned. They never get mentioned. They're behind the New Venture Fund, the Hopewell Fund, these big funds. The New Venture Fund was really pushing for Hillary Clinton and then Kamala Harris. They're big, corporate Democrats, DNC, CIA, John Brennan, Anthony Blinken type Democrats. But they're even bigger than them. They're not bigger than John Brennan, but they're behind the scenes funder of all this kind of stuff. And they hate Donald Trump. They just hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump, the things he says he's going to do now, he's kind of going along with them. I think he's been captured already. But the things candidate Trump was saying, first term Trump was saying he might do, was going to cost them a lot of money because all of their defense contractor grifter friends would be exposed or not get the money, or things weren't going to happen so well through the funds. The funding wasn't going to keep going to all the anti-war grifters that keep you afraid of Russia and, in other words, use fear to keep taking money from the American taxpayers and giving it to their grifter friends. So they hate Trump really badly. Big anti-Trump thing. Arabella Advisors. And so, of course, when he became the second term, they kind of put together these protests, and they're encouraging like an escalation of tactics, it feels like. I don't know if they're not doing it directly, but it feels like they're like, oh yeah, and if you happen to explode a Tesla and then someone dies at the Tesla dealership, well, that's great because Trump is that evil. We have to fight fascism. It's so big that what Trump represents as the creeping fascism, everything's perfect without Trump. There was no fascism, no creeping corporate fascism, no militarism, no drone warfare, no destruction of the medical system. None of that happened before Trump. It's all related. It's all just Trump, And so pinning everything bad now on Trump, focusing it all on Trump, giving him way more power than he ever had or ever will have. This Arabella Advisors. Anyway, they're no longer around. Like the firm New Knowledge. New Knowledge came on the scene and really helped out with the Russiagate program, and a lot of the reasons that my friends were out of their mind and thought that Russia suddenly had way more influence on American politics than Israel. Suddenly thought that the reason Hillary Clinton was unpopular was because of Russia and all this kind of stuff. My friends, a lot of people actually believed that crap. They fell for it because it was being pumped really hard by New Knowledge at the time and other orgs doing the PR. If you're ever wondering who's placing the talking point for any given day, it's people like this. It's like New Knowledge, PR firms, Arabella Advisors, defense contractor PR people placing the talking point on any given day. Anyway, Arabella Advisors, keep staying focused on them. In November of 2025, they broke up, dissolved, and relaunched, turned into Sunflower Services. Sunflower Services, newly formed Public Benefit Corporation. Don't you love that? Public Benefit Corporation. PBC. It's like a public benefit. Do I get to say what the money's going to be spent on? It's public. It's a public benefit corporation, PBC. Anyway, Sunflower Services. There's three firms primarily: the New Venture Fund, the Windward Fund, and the Hopewell Fund. 243 staffers from Arabella Advisors shifted to sunflower services. So see, people have started to write about them, publicize the fact that they're behind all this stuff. And now, of course, they creepy change their name. Sunflower Services. Sunflower Services sounds so nice. In fact, when you look it up, you get like handicap aid organizations and stuff like that. One part of this is Vital Impact. This is headed up by the former president of Arabella, Himesh Bisay. He's the former CEO of Vital 1630 Fund. Let's see, in June of 2025, that's when Bill and Melinda Gates pulled their support of Arabella Advisors and left. And then a lot of other donors did also. So there was a kind of a funding exodus in June of 2025. I think that was right around the time the No Kings was really hitting hard. So the big events that they were putting on the streets were hitting hard. Their name was getting out there. And so the big guys pulled out of the dark money. And they said the brand became radioactive. The brand is becoming radioactive. This is June 2025. There's an article in Chronicle of Philanthropy that I can't read because I'm not going to pay to go behind the paywall. Chronicle of Philanthropy. It's called Arabella Advisors Dissolves After Years of GOP-Led Investigations. That article is from November 18, 2025. They closed because USAID closed. Why debase yourselves for these leeches? This is what someone on Twitter said underneath the article. They closed because USAID closed. Why debase yourselves? Says a Twitter user by the name of the Suede Denim Secret Police. Love that. The Suede Denim Secret Police. And they have come for your uncool knees. Anyway, Sunflower Services, involved in lots of stuff. A lot of stuff that we hate, that we find out now is why people are so kind of idiotic and retarded and focused on all kinds of dumb stuff and have all these kind of big, academic sounding words in their mouth that really mean nothing, or that mean that corporations can do whatever they want and methane is bad because poor people, methane bad. Big corporate methane good. Nobody cares. Don't look at corporate methane, but focus on your cow and its farts, or you and your cat can't fart anymore, or whatever. Methane bad. Anyway, so environmental protection, climate resilience, social justice and equity, Hopewell Fund, Anna Brower, gender and poverty, civil rights advocacy, global development, health, new venture fund, public health, managing funds, Project Echo, youth development, education, empowerment. That's all that anti-math, math, doing real math is racist type education. It's all that kind of stuff. Charter school, performance. I do need performance. Yay, we can't compete with the Chinese. We're idiots. But we're fun idiots. We're fun and diverse idiots. Yay. Youth development. Yeah, education. Yay. Direct support for international giving money away. Sunflower Seeds, Ukraine, 2026. Still giving tons of money to Ukraine, of course. And then there's an affordable housing aspect to what they do. Not located on 949 Moraga Boulevard in Lafayette, California. I might just go by, pay them a visit. Say, I need some help with affordable housing. I'm a tax-paying American. What can you do for me? Yeah, I'm not invading hostile, Wahhabist militant that hates the country. I'm actually an American who lives here. Can you help me? You got any information for me? Gotta check that out. Digital rights, digital action. Digital rights, digital action is all about making big tech firms censor speech and trying to hold them accountable for what their users say, making them visibility filter people away and censor more. That's what the thing that's called digital rights, digital action. That's what that's called. So all this stuff that's out there that you hate, it's funded by these guys. They're all behind all of it. They fund all the funding. You go to the hospital and there's no funding for normal stuff that like normal working class Americans need, but there's a lot of funding there's programs through the hospital for gender reassignment surgeries, There's programs for cosmetic surgeries and things like that, but there's no programs for just things like MRIs for working class men with back pain. There's no fund to help back pain for working people, but there is. If you think you might be a female, we can help. We got the money to help you genitally mutilate yourself. We got the money for that, and the hormones you're going to need for the rest of your life. We got the money for that stuff. That's a lot from some of these funds, okay? And Windward Fund, climate mobilization. You know what they're focused on? Your gas stove. They're not focused on fracking. They're not focused on what's happening to the water, but they're focused on your gas stove, your ability to just cook your food with gas in your house. That's their big focus. Therefore, rewiring. They got this rewiring America, and that's what they're focused on. Gender justice. They got a gender justice, huge subdivision of the environmental justice program. And global methane reduction. So we're going to focus on this one gas called methane. Yep, let the frackers keep doing, just frack it all up, bro, and let them fight wars for the last pools of oil in Venezuela until let the giant war machine pollute up the planet, fighting for war down there. Don't oppose that. Don't mobilize against that. Don't do anything about that. But if I want to turn on my gas stove and cook a steak at home on my gas stove, oh man, problem for the environment. Anyway, Hopewell Fund, they're behind all the gender stuff. All that money to mutilate minors and change bathrooms and all that kind of stuff. If that's funded at all, it's probably through the Hopewell Fund. And they're big into mental health, Rare Impact Fund, and the Kairos Fellowship, as was AstroTurf, and fake social justice orgs. There's tons of social justice sounding orgs now. Everything good that you ever wanted to do, if you ever said to yourself, make organic gardens or something like that, that sounds so good, right? Well, there's now a fund for that through, the Hopewell Fund, or one of these funds that's related to this big corporate philanthropy type people, dark money people. So now they have co-opted all this. Anything you wanted to do, affordable housing, sustainability, environmental sustainability, all these words, all this stuff, it's all been used by them and it's now employed by them. So environmental sustainability means don't look at us in our yachts, our drilling the last holes dry. Don't look at any of that. Focus instead on what you're doing, plebe. How much you drive, or maybe you need to stay in your city more. Maybe you're eating meat. You're eating too much meat. So it's you and your meat habit that's the real problem for the methane on the planet. Not what Chevron is doing, but what you're doing. That's the problem. And so anyway, this is interesting. This is what's happened to Arabella. They didn't go away. This money didn't just dry up. It's all still there. It's all kind of shifted around, and it's now in this sunflower services and this vital impact and all these really nice sounding organizations. Still there. Still primarily active through the corporate Democrats, but also very active with the Republicans as well. They're bipartisan. They don't care about partisan politics in America. Their agenda transcends that for sure. Anyway, Himesh Bisay, University of Mumbai, Temple Wharton School, Comcast, his history of Comcast, Charter Communications, AOL, Synacor. India, he's not a dual citizen. He's probably a citizen of the United States. India doesn't permit dual citizenship. So that's that. Just wanted to give an update on Arabella Advisors. Now, sunflower services. All right.